Yash, welcome on YourPedia.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
So, Yash, you are pursuing your master's by research in electronics and communication engineering in very prestigious IIIT Hyderabad. And IIIT Hyderabad is a dream institute for many of candidates in India. And those who go through GATE, those who do not go through GATE, there are higher educational institutes in India. So today I've got opportunity to interact with you, and I'll be getting more information about that. Yes.
Yes.
फर्स्ट आई स्टार्ट विद योर बैकग्राउंड प्लीज टेल अस विच पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया यू आर फ्रॉम और आपकी बीटेक आपने कहाँ से की है और बीटेक की जर्नी के बाद और ट्रिपल आईटी हैदराबाद के बीच की जर्नी कैसी थी आपकी
Yes, sir. So, I'm originally from Jaipur, but I've done my schooling in Hyderabad, Telangana.
ओके
I have done my bachelor's in IIIT Bhubaneswar in
अच्छा
Electronics Telecommunication Engineering, ETC.
ओ ओ
Proper.
गुड
And from there, while I was in IIIT Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar, I decided that I wanted to pursue my master's in electronics. So I gave a GATE exam as well as PGEE because I wanted to crack IIT or IIIT, whichever was possible. So I prepared, I gave GATE in third year. Wherein I scored all right, but I thought I could improve more. So I've given it again in fourth year. And in fourth year, I gave even PGEE as well for MS in IIIT Hyderabad, as I wanted to in EC my masters, and in IIIT Hyderabad there's MS by EC, so I tried pursuing that.
ओके अच्छा यश आई वुड लाइक टू गेट मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन अबाउट ट्रिपल आईटी हैदराबाद एंड पीजी डबल ई एग्जाम ऑल्सो प्लीज टेल अस ट्रिपल आईटी हैदराबाद में गेट के थ्रू भी जाते हैं या पीजी डबल ई के थ्रू ही जाते हैं
यस सर, तो IIIT हैदराबाद का अपना अलग ही एग्जाम होता है, विच इज PGEE, एंड दैट
ओके
इज फिक्स. सो for there are two ways to get there are basically two ways to get into IIIT Hyderabad. It is
हाँ
in PG for M.Tech or for MS, and it's just one paper, PGEE, and all exam is held on one day for all MS students as well as M.Tech students who want to get into the college. So they offer M.Tech CSE, MS CSE, and MS EC, so as well as PhD. So students who want to get into IIIT Hyderabad have to give only PGEE. Your GATE score or your GATE marks is beneficial if you want stipend, that too for M.Tech, because that GATE score is not valid for your MS research in IIIT Hyderabad, but it does add to the it does help you in your favor in terms of the resume when they will check what kind of caliber of student we are trying to recruit.
So, as per you, Triple IT Hyderabad, mein, if you want to go for MS research,
Yes,
then
sir.
GATE is not the exam, PGEE is the exam.
Yes, sir. So for the difference between the two is that in M.Tech and MS, for M.Tech you just have to give the PGEE paper, and आपको आपका score as well as cutoff बता दिए जाएंगे कि what your score is and how much is the cutoff, whether you have cleared the cutoff, and then there'll be counseling wherein based on that you can either get into computer science or computer science and information security out of these two.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then counseling happens for roughly 3 to 4 rounds. On the other hand, for MS, you won't get to know what your score is, but what they will do is they will let you know via the website and your application form whether you have been selected for the interview or not.
Okay.
So as of recent, last year when students were recruited, they had the opportunity to go and give the interview, and if you have, and they check your resume कि आपने क्या क्या किया है, what you have pursued. If they like
Okay.
the candidate and if they feel that he's good for this college, they will select you. And once you get into the college, you can pursue whatever lab you choose to pursue. कि आपको robotics lab में research करना है, आपको VLSI lab में research करना है, आपको signal processing lab में करना है. However, now they've changed what they've done this time. Just like for me, when students are applying for now, you will have to, if you have been selected for interview, you have to choose which labs you want to interview for. तो
Okay.
आपको प्रेफरेंस दिया जाता है कि आप किस ऑर्डर में लैब्स को चूज करना है. जैसे फर्स्ट में आपने लेट से VLSI डाल दिया, फिर आप सिग्नल प्रोसेसिंग में जाना चाहते हैं, फिर रोबोटिक्स में. तो ऐसे आपको अप टू 5 प्रेफरेंसेस के बाद you will be allowed to give interview for up to 2 labs. And
Okay.
once you give the interview for those 2 labs, they will let you know if you have been selected. And once you've been selected, they'll let you know कि आप इस lab को assign किए गए. So before you enter the college, you are already provided with the lab you have to do research under.
Good. Okay. So, yes, for electronic students, what are the opportunities in Triple IT Hyderabad for masters?
So for electronics engineering students, 3 of them, there are 5 labs and there are n number of labs to choose from, but the 3 major labs which majority of the students will go for are CWEST, which is Center for VLSI and Embedded System Technology, SPCRC, which is Signal Processing and Research and Communication Research Center, and RRC, which is Robotics Research Center. So
Okay.
if somebody is, let's say, interested in analog or circuit design, they will majority go for the center C West, which is VLSI
Okay.
lab.
Mm,
If you're interested
mm,
in signal processing or communication, तो SPCRC. But or if you want to learn about robots की robotics में research करना है,
mm,
तो it's
mm,
RSC.
mm, अच्छा, ये एग्जाम कब जैसे आता है, इसका नोटिफिकेशन कब आता है, और एग्जाम कैसा होता है? ऑफलाइन में जाके देखना पड़ता है या ऑनलाइन में होता है? ये थोड़ा सा बताएं.
Ji, date, if I'm not wrong, the exam takes place in the month of May.
Okay.
May beginning, we have our exams.
Mm,
And this is given offline, like any normal gate examination, where you'll be given a center, you have to go to the center and apply
okay.
for it. एंड
Mm,
आप उस सेंटर में जाके जैसे एक नॉर्मल एनटी एग्जाम होता है गेट का जेई का उसकी उसी तरह आप
mm,
पेपर देंगे एंड
mm,
वंस यू आर डन विद द पेपर within 2 to 3 weeks of issuing the paper they give you the results ki as to whether or not आप select हुए हैं interview के लिए या नहीं and then
mm,
once you have been selected within another 1 or 2 weeks you'll be informed ki you have to come for the interview round. So for
mm,
me May I have given the exam and the result came out May beginning mid May we got to know our result and then June 1st, second week, we had our interviews scheduled where we
mm,
had to
mm,
give it. Some
mm,
like computer science MS gave it on the first week of June. EC students
mm,
gave it the second week of June. So
mm.
like that
So
they did.
other than EC and computers, what are the other MS programs available at IIIT Hyderabad?
MS programs available are MS programs are only communication, computer science and EC. There is also something called as PDM, which is product design and management for M.Tech students if they want to pursue.
Okay. Okay. And written exam के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताओ. Yes, what is the format of written exam, and compared to GATE, how is this?
So written exam is divided into two sections. So it's a 90 minutes, it's a 180 minutes paper, but you'll be
Mm,
given 90 minute slots. So in the first 90 minutes, you have to solve aptitude. So like in
mm,
GATE, we have an aptitude in a technical section. In
right, right.
PGW, it is similar, but the difference
Mm,
is you will have first 40 questions in aptitude, which you will have to solve. You can only do aptitude first. First, you have to complete aptitude, then you can move on to the technical round. So there are 40
mm,
questions in aptitude, and then
mm,
next there are 50 questions in technical. So
mm,
let's say aptitude is common for everyone. Everybody will get the same type of questions. It's the
mm,
technical which will be based on if you have taken EC or a
mm,
CSE examination. So according to that, whatever syllabus has been provided on PGW,
mm,
according to that you will have to study. So the syllabus
mm,
is less compared to GATE relatively
mm,
for
mm, mm,
in PGW, as well as the
mm,
difficulty level is. It can
mm,
be believed that if you have done GATE preparation decent, you can
mm.
score very well in your technical
Okay.
section. However,
Mm,
aptitude is always on the harder side as they expect you
mm,
to
mm.
as a true test of how well intelligent or how skillful a student
Okay.
is in terms of solving.
Mm. So
And the
you
marking
said
scheme is
technique.
1 mark and
Okay.
negative mark for every incorrect question, minus 1.5 for every
Okay.
incorrect.
So you said technical and aptitude number of questions coming are same, huh? Equal.
No, sir. Aptitude
Mm,
has 40 questions. Technical has
mm.
50 questions in total.
अच्छा, 90
Each
का है. और
carrying one
मिनट
mark.
कितना मिलता है? How many minutes you get?
You get 90 minutes for aptitude and then the next 90 minutes for technical. So it's a 3 hour paper split into 1.5 hour time.
Okay, 1.5, 1.5, and total questions are 90 only. 40 plus
Total questions are
50.
90. Total questions are 90.
Hmm. Any tips you want to give to students for cracking this exam?
Yes. So tips, if anybody is wanting to give PGW, I would strongly suggest that while everybody studies for technical as it is, because a lot of people who give PGW are either ones who have given GATE or those who couldn't score as well as they wanted in GATE, but they want to get into a good college. So technical round will be almost on a playing field that everybody who studies even the basic concepts of whatever subject they're choosing, whether it's computer science or electronics, they can
Hmm.
easily score in the technical round. Technical round is relatively simpler compared to GATE, I would say. However, the
Okay.
real test is that many people choose not to
Hmm.
practice aptitude. So, like for
Hmm.
me, before the exam, I made sure that at least 1 or 2 weeks I spent on aptitude properly because GATE syllabus has been revised due to my GATE examination in 2025.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
aptitude, I would suggest कि आप properly practice कीजिए, do as
Hmm.
many problems as possible, and more
Hmm.
importantly, work on your logical and reasoning part because there will be a lot of questions which will seem very tough and they might be simple as long as you find the pattern in them. And in
Hmm.
aptitude, don't take too much of risks. Like in aptitude,
Hmm.
there will be questions which not everybody will be able to solve in the amount of time provided. So if, let's
Hmm.
say for me, I had 40 questions. So time
Hmm.
wasn't available because there are some questions which will take more time compared to others. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
managed to only solve 30 questions in that frame period. But I made sure
Hmm.
that those 30 are the ones which I knew 100% rather than guessworking. Because if you guess, you will lose, you will have negative marks and that can affect your PGW score going forward.
Hmm. Okay. And yes, this once you go for interview, what do they normally ask you? Interview is offline in the campus
Yes,
of
yes,
IIIT.
yes, sir.
Okay.
So interview you
Mm,
have to give it in person, and
mm,
it all depends on the lab you have been applied for. Like in before, what they used before, the
mm,
people in general, if you're an electronic student, so they will ask you on what subject you like, what is your strong subject, and they will ask you question on that. So
mm,
like for me, when I gave interview for signal processing,
mm,
they asked me question, which topic are you strong in, which topic would you like to
mm,
ask about. So you have to tell them that I am strong in this subject, or I can answer question in so and so subject. And when
mm,
they ask you basic question that they don't. The main objective of the interview is that they are not
mm.
looking for always you giving the right answer. They're looking
Okay.
for you to they're looking to understand how the person thinks, and more
Mm,
importantly, how does he approach the question. Like there
mm.
might be questions which you will not get the answer to. Even the professor
Okay.
knows that in the amount of time he cannot give me the answer. But as long as
Mm,
that student is having a train of thought which is telling
mm,
me, okay, this person knows the basics, he is able to
mm,
understand how a circuit works, for example,
mm,
electronics, or how exactly a basic mathematical equations are formed. If he can do
mm,
that, then that is more than enough to let the
mm.
person understand, interviewer understand, ki,
Okay.
okay, you are actually a
Mm,
student
mm,
who's thinking the right way, and
mm,
we can select you. That,
mm.
that's for you.
Okay. Now coming to Triple IT brand. We know there is Triple IT, as you already from Triple IT Bhubaneswar you have done your undergrad. There is a Triple IT Bangalore, Triple IT Hyderabad, Triple IT Delhi, Triple IT Allahabad. We know there are so many Triple ITs like
Yes.
NITs and IIT brands, but in Triple ITs there are some differences. So please tell us something about Triple IT Hyderabad. What kind of administrative structure is that? I mean, it's a government institute or it is some another model?
Yes, sir. So this is actually alongside Triple IT Bangalore, Delhi, and Pune. This comes under some and Bhubaneswar. This comes under something known as PPP, Public-Private Partnership. So
Okay.
this institute is funded by the government in certain aspects, while it also inherits its own private motto. So when if you the institute as a whole is funded by both the government as well as by the institute, and whatever money they're able to earn through research as well as through curriculum and activities.
Okay, okay. So yes, now coming to the expenditure part. If I want to pursue my master's from IIIT Hyderabad, how much is my semester fees, hostel fees, and everything?
Yes, so it depends if you're pursuing for masters and MS, because in this college, MS is given higher priority over M.Tech. So if you're an M.Tech student, you will be charged the same amount as a UG student, which is roughly 4.5 lakhs per annum,
Okay,
which is what in general all UG students do, plus another 50,000 in advance for the mess. As you when you
okay,
pre-register for the mess, you don't have to buy coupons every week. You can through the via the app, you can register for the different meals available in campus, as well as they will charge you roughly 30,000 in the hostel fees in the
okay.
accommodation provided.
Mhm.
For MS, however, because MS and PhD are at higher priority, because the college, sorry, prefers research students, the semester fees or the per annum fee, sorry, for MS is 60K.
Mhm.
So the fees for MS is significantly lower, and the same hostel charges is provided for both M.Tech and MS in terms of mess
Okay.
and
Mm.
accommodation.
Mm. So we can say that MTech will cost you somewhere around 10 to 12 lakh rupees, right?
Yes, not 10 to 12 lakhs, sir.
Mm.
For 2 years, so 1 year is 4.5, so roughly 2 years fixed is 9 lakhs, around 9 to 10 lakhs.
9 lakh. But 50,000 you said is hostel also and mess also, no?
Yes, yes. So if we add up, it'll be around 10 to
Huh, huh.
12.
Okay, and what about MS research?
MS research will be significantly less. So since you're only paying 60K per annum plus the hostel fees, so you can assume your figures will be your figures will be no more than around 4 to 5 lakhs or more. Because unlike M.Tech, which is a fixed timetable wherein within 2 years you have to
Mm.
you have to graduate from the college. MS has a
Mm.
different approach. This your minimum requirement is is roughly 6 semesters or 2 years. However,
Mm.
if you're as the college promotes students to do as much research as possible, that
Mm.
timeline can be roughly from 2 to 3 to even 4 years, depending on how the
Mhm.
student does. So there
Mm.
are multiple scenarios wherein
Mm.
students who have come to IIIT Hyderabad have spent 3 years, because that is the amount of time it usually
Mm.
takes to not only complete your
Mm.
degree, but at the same
Mm.
time getting good research out from the institute,
Okay.
because
Mm.
paper requirements as well as how the advisor perceives your work should be
Okay.
done
Mm. Mm.
is to be taken.
Mm. Okay, so yes, IIIT Hyderabad for master's program is institute for electrical, electronics, instrumentation, computer science engineers, even civil engineers. Please correct me if I have missed something.
Yes, you are completely correct, sir. There is even a civil branch, which
Mm.
I am actually I apologize, but I don't know that much about the civil branch as I've not
Okay.
interacted with them very much. But
Mm.
for electronics and computer science students, I will say it is a very good institute, particularly
Okay.
computer science, because from what I've seen is that those who come into M.Tech or MS. For
Mm.
MS, it is a huge opportunity for students to learn how to actually do
Okay.
research, how to
Yes.
get papers out, how to understand how research is done in the real world. Academia, if a student is interested in academia, it's like the perfect route because I believe it is on par with IS in similar levels on IIC Bangalore. Although IIC Bangalore is known for its research
Mm.
around India,
Mm. Mm.
it does
Mm.
IIIT Hyderabad does come close to it in terms of the research papers they provide.
True.
And
Mm.
for M.Tech point of view, it is good.
Mm.
It is a really good institute in the sense that all students, no matter how behind or ahead they may be in
Mm.
terms of their
Okay.
skills or coding,
Academics.
it helps
Mm.
them all gel together and they learn the most updated curriculum because this institute has a motto that the curriculum is not fixed. It depends on the professor. So the professor
Mm.
can orient the curriculum according to him. Like let us say he wants more project weightage in in a certain subject. He wants more
Mm.
mathematical or handwritten assignments from a student. So
Mm.
orientation wise, it lets the student learn something new. So
Okay.
the orientation of the course is such that the student should not only do the course because it is a requirement of the institute, he should do it
Mm.
because not only can it help him in his research if he's pursuing in certain in a certain subject, also it can give that person new things to understand, something that is not learned or something that is even relevant to this day-to-day life, how
Mm.
certain applications are done in this day-to-day
Mm.
life. So
Mm.
that way, I would say this college teaches you the latest information while working on the
Mm.
basics as well.
Wonderful. Very, very nicely explained and everything very nicely briefed by you, Yash.
Thank you,
Thanks a
sir.
lot for that. And anything, though I have extracted most of the information which is relevant for the students, Yash, anything which I must have missed, you can add that. And or any message you want to give to prospective students of Triple IT Hyderabad.
If I'm being totally honest, one thing I would do want students who are coming to IIIT Hyderabad is that if they want to get PGWE, I would strongly suggest that not just because PGWE and IIIT Hyderabad has like a very big name, you shouldn't make it the sole purpose of why you're pursuing your masters because you
Yes.
should focus on GATE as well because if you do well in GATE and if you actually put enough efforts in GATE, it becomes
Mm.
easier to crack the exam altogether. And when
Mm.
it comes to the interview round, I see a lot of students will ask like how do we give the interview, how do we score, and whether or not they are intimate, whether or not it is difficult to crack the exam. I would just say that when you're in the in the interview room, try to be as
Mm.
relaxed and composed as possible because
Okay.
they are not trying to make you quit or make you feel like what are you doing here. They
Yes.
basically want you to give you be confident, be relaxed, and see how
Yes.
exactly do you approach the problem because they know
Mm.
at the end of the day that any student is not judged by how much because the interview lasts for
Yes.
barely 20
Mm.
minutes or
Mm.
25 minutes. So
Mm.
they
Mm.
cannot judge an
Mm.
entire character based on how many correct answers is given.
Yes.
Rather, they will see the
True.
approach of the student. So I would just
Mm.
say all those who are pursuing MS, work on your basics because basics are necessary. Everything
Mm.
from gate, whatever. If let's say you want to do
Mm.
VLSI, please up analog digital electronics, do it properly. Signal processing,
Mm.
if you want to do research, learn signal
Mm.
processing. Mathematics also, if you're very good at, learn that for robotics because that is very useful. But
Yes.
whatever happens, just properly be relaxed, and more importantly, whatever resume you have present, whatever is present in your resume, feel free to talk about it because they will have
Okay.
your resume with you. They will ask you
Mm.
2 copies. So when they check your resume, if they ask what has been done, please explain them
Mm.
properly that I have
Okay.
done so and so. How have I applied the
Mm.
approach?
Mm.
So that
Mm.
is my thing. And for M.Tech, just give the paper as you have given GATE. Try to study as much as possible. And at the end of the day, because it's a relative grading,
Mm.
don't worry about that. I haven't scored 90% of the paper. I have to solve 80% of the paper. Just solve to
Mm.
your best because there are
Mm.
students who, in the entirety, have only scored 50% marks. But that was more than
Mm.
enough because that paper turned out to be tough for them that year. So they managed to
Mm.
get ahead of the other students and get the
Mm.
cutoff. So I would just say avoid as much as mistakes as
Yeah.
possible and just be relaxed about it. The more you
Mm.
overthink, I think that will just cause you more trouble going
Mm.
forward.
Okay. So MTech में there is no interview, huh?
No, sir. It is no interview in M.Tech. In M.Tech, you have,
Okay.
like I mentioned earlier, you just have
Mm.
to clear the paper. There'll be a cutoff
Mm.
mention, and based on how much you ahead or low you are
Okay.
in the cutoff, you have
Mm.
to sit for counseling. And then from
Mm.
counseling, you can choose whether you want to
Okay.
get into, based on the counseling, you'll either get CSIS, which is Computer Science or Information Security, the second priority branch, or the top branch, which is Computer Science Electronics for
Okay.
M.Tech. So you have
Mm.
opportunity to
Wonderful.
go into both of them. Yeah.
Wonderful. So that brings us to an end of this wonderful session, Yash. And in future, after this GATE exam and all these exams and this session start, where students start coming, I'll again invite you to interact with the students who will be going for this IIIT Hyderabad, so
Yes,
that
sir.
as a alumnus of that college, you provide them the information and they get the real authentic things from your side, right? So thanks a
All
lot
right.
once again, and wish you all the
Thank you
very
so much.
best for your master's program.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.